Formula One turns 75 this year, and the British Grand Prix is one of only 2 events that's taken place in every F1 championship. It's the oldest race in F1 World Championship history, being the first round of the 1950 season. Over the years, the race has run at a handful of circuits across the UK, from Aintree to Brands Hatch, but nowadays, one track has cemented its place in the hearts of F1 fans and drivers alike: Silverstone. In the heart of the Northamptonshire countryside, built on the remnants of an old Air Force base, it draws hundreds of thousands of fans every year and has now hosted nearly 60 British events in F1 history. F1 greats like Jackie Stewart, Ayrton Senna, Michael Schumacher and Kimi Raikkonen have all won at Silverstone, and among the current grid, Max Verstappen, Fernando Alonso and Carlos Sainz have all picked up race wins here too. Lewis Hamilton, however, has them all trumped and has won the race a record 8 times. Silverstone also played host to some of the great F1 rivalries, with Michael Schumacher and Damon Hill coming together during their 1995 title fight, and Hamilton and Verstappen colliding in the hotly contested 2021 season. Now, with F1 boss Stefano Domenicali saying that Silverstone has the right characteristics to stay forever in the calendar, it's a track that is sure to host future classics for years to come. But what is it about the 5.891 kilometre circuit that F1 just can't get enough of? Before we go into that, let's take a quick look at the technical nature of the circuit itself. Take it away, JBL.
Welcome to Silverstone, the home of the British Grand Prix. Expect a festival atmosphere, some hard-fought racing, and fervent support for this year's 4 home drivers. Let's take a look at the 5.891 kilometre circuit. We begin with the run to Abbey, these days a high-speed right-hander that leads us into the farm curve and the hard-stop village corner. Slow it down, turn right, and stay there to widen the line for turn 4. Hit the apex and then try to shorten the run onto the Wellington Straight. Hang right, brake for Brooklands, and wind the lock in to go left. Buzz the outside curb and then dart to the left to widen the line for Luffield. Carry the speed and then full throttle for the old start-finish straight out of Woodcote. Copse, turn 9 is next up. Do you dare to go through it flat out? If you're brave enough to do so, then try to do the same for Maggots, before resorting to the brakes for Beckett, the 2 forming one of F1's most iconic cornering double acts. Build up the speed again when you're out of Beckett and slowly bring your car towards the left along the Hanger Straight. Brake as late as you can for Stowe, another high-load, high-speed right-hander, and let the car roll off the exit curb before braking for the slow left-right at Club. Easy on the throttle on the exit, wind it in slowly and then clear the entry curb and bolt across the start-finish straight to complete a lap of the Silverstone Circuit.
Right, so why is it so popular? First, there's the track layout itself, which Williams racer Alex Albon says makes it a proper driver's circuit. It's good for racing. I think people forget it generally promotes good racing. Silverstone is a bit wider, a bit more forgiving, so it's easier to get confident early in the weekend. The confidence that comes with the wider track and longer runoffs means that, come the race, drivers can push harder and the racing action is always close. In the past few years alone, Silverstone has thrown up a fierce fight between Lewis Hamilton, Charles Leclerc and Sergio Perez in 2022, and an all-British fight for the win dominated last year's race. And who can forget the drama of Hamilton's 3-wheeled finish in 2020? Charles Leclerc previously said it's the home of motorsport, it's where it all started. It's just a very, very special track, especially with those new cars. Now we are incredibly quick in all those high-speed corners, and it's so satisfying as a driver to drive there. In its current incarnation, the ribbon of tarmac comprises 18 corners, including iconic turns like Copse and the flowing sequence of Maggots and Becketts. Every one of these corners has hosted many memorable moments in F1 history, and the nearly 1 kilometre Hanger Straight is always a great spot for an overtake come race day. Copse was the scene of Hamilton and Verstappen's fateful collision on the opening lap of the 2021 race, while the long right-hander of Stowe was where Nigel Mansell swooped past Nelson Piquet to take his first win at Silverstone. Max Verstappen has had some dramatic moments at the track too, saying, "The corners at Silverstone are insanely fast." Copse is flat out, Maggots is also flat out in 7th gear, which is already crazy, especially in qualifying as you don't even tap the brake anymore. Obviously, it can rain at Silverstone, even though it is summer in the UK, but I like those conditions, and maybe we wouldn't mind the rain as it could mix things up. Historically, the wind and rain at Silverstone have mixed up the results too. Lewis Hamilton pulled off a commanding wet weather performance to pick up his first victory at the track in 2008, and the gusty conditions that can catch out today's racers mean that finding the right balance in car setup is key. But there's more than just close racing and the unpredictability that makes Silverstone what it is. Throughout its history, the track also hosted some key moments away from the racing action that have caught the imagination of F1 fans. Back in 1991, Nigel Mansell was on top at Silverstone. His main rival in the race, Ayrton Senna, ran out of fuel on the cooldown lap and came to a stop on track. So Mansell picked up the Brazilian and let him ride side saddle on his Williams to get back to the pits. Then there was the time that a kilt-clad priest ran onto the track in 2003. Cornelius Horan ran onto the hangar straight on lap 11 of the race, holding up a banner about the Bible. The chaos that unfolded brought out the safety car, shuffled the pack, and gave Rubens Barrichello the chance to fight Kimi Räikkönen and take the win. Close racing action and drama like this all play into the history of Silverstone and help draw crowds of up to 500,000 people over a race weekend. As Martin Brundle said, there's always a massive crowd at Silverstone. They're well informed, and back in the day they would have appreciated Ayrton Senna as much as Alain Prost or Michael Schumacher. A lot want a British victory, and we'll never forget Nigel's 1992 win. It was extraordinary how the crowd reacted, and the track invasion was wild. I have vivid memories of that day since I was on the podium. The waiting fans have caught many a home hero winning the race, with British stars like David Coulthard, Johnny Herbert, Nigel Mansell and Damon Hill all joining Hamilton as winners around Silverstone. But regardless of whether there's a Brit on the top step, Alex Albon says there's always so much noise and energy at the famed track. Alpine's Pierre Gasly shared this sentiment, adding that the atmosphere is quite special around Silverstone. While the Formula One calendar continues to swell and historic tracks like Imola are dropped to make way for new street circuits like Vegas or purpose-built circuits such as Qatar, there was once a doubt over the future of Silverstone's place in F1. Now, the track's sellout run looks set to continue, with Formula One confirming that the race will stay on the calendar until 2034 under the current contract. Domenicali claimed that there is no other place where you can develop such a huge event in the UK, and with his assertion that there isn't any other place that could step in and fill Silverstone's shoes, both drivers and fans will be happy to know that the iconic track's future is secure.